Hello Year 3 and welcome to Week 8, and this is your English worksheet on advanced reading skills. It's a bit different this week. You're going to get the whole story before you get your questions. So I'm going to read you a passage from the story again, and then we'll look at some of the tricky questions that you're going to come up with. It's a lovely story this week. It's called King Alfred and the Legend of St. George. Sire, I come with important news. The knight's voice echoed loudly through the church, but the king continued to pray for his family. There was still much he wanted to say, so much he needed to confess. Sire! The king opened his eyes. The knight's voice was too loud and irritating to ignore. Amen, he whispered, blessing himself with the sign of the cross as he rose from his knees. The knight looked anxious as the king approached him along the church's nave. Sire, he repeated, kneeling and bowing. I trust you disturb me from my prayers for good reason, the king addressed him coldly. I do, sire, I do, the knight said, still with his head bowed. Rise, the king ordered. Explain this important news. Yes, sire, the knight said, handing the king a scroll. The king frowned. What is this? News of a miracle, sire. He smiled as the king began reading the scroll. The knight stood patiently as the markings on the paper became words inside his king's mind. And the story goes on for another page and 3/4. Then we get to the questions. And if we get to question 5, it says, it's an extract from the text, the villagers would take lots to decide whose daughter to sacrifice. Okay? So, take lots is not the usual meaning for lots. Usually in class, if we talk about lots, we mean lots of something, like lots of chocolate, or there's lots of noise. But this is a different meaning for the word lots. So before you answer this question, how else could the author have written this line, you'll need to find out what taking lots means. So check online or check in a dictionary, or maybe someone in your house can help you with the answer. And then the other word is sacrifice. The villagers would take lots to decide whose daughter to sacrifice. Okay, if you haven't got the meaning by reading the text, again, you'll need to find out what the word sacrifice means before you can figure out how else to write this line. So good luck with that. It'll take a bit of research. Question 6. They feared losing their own kin. In this sentence, what do you think kin means? Read it carefully. It's not king, it's kin. So what do you think kin means from reading the story? Again, if you're struggling, if you have a dictionary or can go online, you can check what it means. Or perhaps someone in your family can help you. You then have lots more questions on the other page, all relating to the text. And finally, you're going to finish on question 12, which asks you to write a blurb for this section of the story, using 40 words or less. 40 words is not a lot. When you start writing, you'll find that out. So think about how you can write a blurb. Remember, a blurb, we talked about this in week 6, is like a short advertisement or a taster or a teaser for the story, trying to attract someone to read it. But it can't tell them all that happens, otherwise that would spoil the story for them. So maybe practice reading it out loud, seeing if it's less than 40 words, or you could practice writing it on some scrap paper. Okay, have fun. I think you'll enjoy reading this story this week. Take care.